and say that it's because of drugs or drug use. Well, I've seen things before. I've seen people killed with a needle full of air, and they lied later on and said that they died of a heart attack. And some of these people were drug users, and they put the needle with air into the same hole that they shot their drugs up in to make it look like they died of a heart attack, because it wasn't on record that they used drugs. So we're going to squash this right now, and I'm going to make it to where nobody can lie about me and say that I'm a drug user, because I'm not. If I was a drug user, I would have needles in my arms and in my body, and I don't. Also, I don't smoke dope, and I don't smoke drugs of any kind. So thank you. Well, with this enemy that we're up against, my family and I, we fight against something that I like to call legally indiscernible tactics by this enemy. Well, an example of legally indiscernible tactics would be something that I explain to people to give them an example of that. So imagine like two completely different vehicles, and the vehicles are the exact same make and model. So imagine two Ford Focus vehicles, two completely different Ford Focus vehicles of white color, and they're the exact same year and the exact same make and model, okay? And they have the exact same license plate number on the front and back of the vehicles themselves. And now imagine two completely different black people, and they're twins. They look exactly the same, and they're partners in crime. One guy is driving the exact same vehicle that the other guy is driving, and imagine that they even have the same identification cards, okay? So imagine that they have the exact same identification cards with the same ID numbers on them. Now imagine one of the guys is seen at 7-Eleven and he's buying something with a credit card, and he's being seen on camera. while the other guy is in the area committing a crime. So if the other guy is in the area committing a crime, and say someone sees him commit the crime, right? Then, so again, you know, so now imagine that one guy is seen at the 7-Eleven and he's buying something and he's being recorded on camera, while the other guy that looks like him is in the area committing a bunch of crimes. So if someone sees the guy commit crimes, they call the cops on him, right? They'll report it to law enforcement, and what they'll do is they'll come out and investigate it, right? And they'll say, well, how could this guy have been over here doing that when he's seen on camera at the 7-Eleven buying something, and it's the exact same guy, and it's the exact same car, right? So, I mean, you know, there you go. These are the kind of tactics that we're up against when dealing with this enemy group from the East Coast, this Mafia group, because these guys are smart, you know? And the thing is like, well, you know, the cops wouldn't give a shit because they'd be in on it. They'd be in on it because they would get paid to be in on it. That's how they make their extra side cash. You know, that's how a lot of these guys come up, you know? It's like, you know, we like to call this something called legally indiscernible tactics. And, you know, they were doing all kinds of stuff like that before we got a picture and a video recording of the guy. I mean, he was sending people here to fit his description on paper, like other bald people, you know? So the bald Mafia guy that stole my ID card and threatened to kill me and cut my nose and my head off and everything, see, he got access to my information because it had my address and my name on my California ID card. So he knew exactly where to find me. He knew exactly where to come looking. Bakersfield, California, right? So, I mean, you know, he was sending people here to fit his description on paper. You know, so when we had people out looking for him everywhere and watching the area, you know, they were looking for a bald guy with blue eye color. And of the Mafia type, of the Italian Mafia type, or like the Russian-Italian Mafia type, right? So, you know, they got recordings of all kinds of people, and they said, is that him? Is that him? No, that's not him. And then I saw him, and I said, yep, that's him. And they were calling in on him, and they were sending people out here to fit his description on paper, you know? That's what they do. So, like, if somebody commits a crime, you know, and they want to throw off, you know, the community or fucking something like that, they'll send someone else to fit the description on paper, you know? So it'll be like a bald guy with blue eye color, you know? So that's how smart these guys are. That means that they were building up to do this. They had it in their interest to do this. I was deliberately targeted by these people, and they had already previously known about me before I even went out there. So So, when I was in my early 20s, I had actually left Oildale, California for Los Angeles, California, where, when I was there, several people from the film industry approached me and said that I looked like a model and I should become a movie star or a film actor. And I was actually curious to see if they were actually part of the film industry, and they were. Well, after that, I got to meet several film actors at different times in Los Angeles. Most notably, I got to meet Amanda Seyfried, a film actress. And I guess this means that I do look like a model, and that I am attractive. So nobody can say that I'm not attractive, and nobody can say that I don't look like a model, because I've been told several times that I do look like a model, especially when I am very super healthy. Well, when I was a teenager, from the ages of 13 years old to I think around 18 or 19 years old, you know, I would have sex with multiple women at the same time, sometimes older than me, sometimes a lot older than me. I mean, that's what I would do. I would engage in orgies, and that's what we would do. We would lay in bed all day, and we would smoke cigarettes and have sex and experiment, and we did a lot of experimentation. So, you know, it's not like I did anything wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. I was just a teenager, but, you know, we did post the videos to the internet, and we did do, like, live shows for, you know, gaming friends online. Probably not a smart thing to do. But then again, I was just a stupid teenager, so. And then, when I was in my early 20s, I had orgies again with lots of beautiful women, and they would come over to my apartment, and a lot of the girls, I mean, they were around the same age or a little bit older than me, and I remember there was this one girl, she was a squirter, and she would squirt when you'd have sex with her. She would squirt everywhere. In fact, she squirted all over me. She squirted all over my bedding. I mean, my bedding was soaked. And we would have sex for, I mean, weeks and weeks at a time. That's all we would do, just lay around and have sex all day long and all night. And then there was like this other girl. She was all into like furry anime porn, and she actually wore like a butt plug with a tail on it. So she liked to do that. So again, you know, I think that means that I'm not a homosexual, you know? So nobody can call me a faggot, because I'm not one.